Dune explores religion and politics in Emersonian ways when it comes to the Fremen, poetic ways when it comes to the Bene Gesserit, authoritarian and fascist ways when it comes to the Harkonnens, and family and traditional values when it comes to the Atreides. This article, Faith in Science Fiction, Dune in the Hope of Something More, by Lucas Mix, articulates this form of existentialism eloquently. Existentialism and transcendentalism are these mental grapples with existence and a struggle to live life in some higher, elevated, hyper-realistic and form of reality. If anybody can say they do that, it's the Fremen. Lucas Mix says the power and ability of the Fremen comes from their struggle for existence. They are a highly religious people. They see Paul Atreides as their messiah. This religious prophecy was planted by the Bene Gesserit, but Paul maintains that he doesn't want to be their messiah. The resistance is best seen when his mother transmutates the worm poison that is said to be the water of life. When she survives, the Fremen gossip among each other. Paul tells them frankly that
poison transmutation is something advanced Bene Gesserit can do. Not the Mahdi.
He's rebuffed this claim to resist the prophecy he knows he has been set up by the Bene Gesserit. In the end, he drinks the poison and accepts his fate as the Lisan al-Gaib as a matter of revenge against the Harkonnens. He becomes exactly what he said he wouldn't, an authoritarian dictator. The Fremen wrestle not only with existence with their reliance on spice and psychedelic and religious drug that is a coveted source of navigation, but also for existence. The Bene Gesserit perfectly place this prophecy to give the Fremen hope, especially when the Harkonnens are attempting to genocide their people, who only flourish when fighting to survive. Their ways tie into Emersonian transcendentalism through Emerson's essay, The Transcendentalist, where he says, transcendentalism is the excess of faith, the presentiment of a faith proper to maintain his integrity, excessive only when one's imperfect obedience hinders the satisfaction of this wish. In the show Dune Prophecy, we see Sister Leia perform poison transmutation. In order to gain access to a dead sister's consciousness. This confirms that there is an afterlife for these Bene Gesserit, which allows some fulfillment to their religious ways. Lucas Mix recognizes this when he says, the Bene Gesserit learn to control their bodies and emotions in new and fantastic ways. There's a lot of poetry that coincides with the Bene Gesserit's religious ways. Different poets have different approaches to religion. Hölderlin falls into a Grecan polygamy as he refers to many gods in his poems. Mary Oliver's close to the chest way of saying, how could he give up all his secrets and still be God, speaks volumes on how the Bene Gesserit are always one step ahead of everyone by never revealing their secrets. However, the biggest tie into poetry comes from the show and Hart Crane. The Bene Gesserit take spice to enhance the prefigurations and all to draw the same symbol, these eyes in the black. There is no doubt in my mind that this is a reference to the Hart Crane poem Possessions, where he says black foam has no eyes. If that's not enough proof for you that the writers of the show have read Hart Crane, there's literally a character in the show named Desmond Hart. In a lot of ways, this franchise parallels World War II. Hitler performed a genocide on a religious group of people, and Hitler rose to power at a time of great hardship in Germany. This is what makes Dune Parts 1 and 2 so interesting. They are two sides of the same coin. The Atreides are massacred, so the Harkonnens massacred as a form of revenge.
Every action has its equal opposite reaction.
The Harkonnens are this authoritarian fascist regime.
Eyes, I need to see it in your eyes. You never met Harkonnens before. I have. They're not human, they're brutal.
Instead of working with the Fremen like the Atreides attempted to, they decided to kill them all. Their hostile and arrogant ways are ultimately what lead to their demise. The Atreides face fear with family and tradition. This encounter is precisely what Lucas Mix says, and yet when the fear passes, it is not who I will remain, but God. And so I put my trust in family, faith, and tradition. The two scenes that best exhibit this are the scene where Paul talks to his father. He asks,
What if I'm not Dad? Not what? The future of House Atreides.
And his father tells him,
You'll still be the only thing I ever needed you to be. My son.
So touching. So touching that it holds so much weight when the Emperor describes him as a...
He was a man who believed in the rules of the heart. But the heart is not meant to rule. In other words, your father was a weak man.
And Paul gets revenge on him for sending his family to die by defeating his champion and taking his daughter as his wife, which, by the way, is the sickest form of revenge I've ever heard. And that is my video on Dune. I hope you enjoyed. It does draw a lot of parallels to poetry, religion, Emerson. Yeah, so I hope you like that. Thank you.